Hey guys, today I thought I would do a challenge update because if you guys have been following, I have been doing a challenge since the beginning of the year to eat healthy, exercise, stay off my phone, and drink more water. Those are my 4 things. And I'll let you know how it's been going. It's the 29th. I've been doing it since January 1st. I'm gonna be talking in this about weight. I'm gonna be talking about health, all those kind of things. I also talk about mental health and traumas and things in this video. So if those things are touchy topics for you, scroll on. So as far as actual, how have I been doing on these, on this plan? Eating wise, pretty good. Like really, really good, honestly. I'm eating 1,000 times better than I normally was. I have completely cut out wheat because I feel like since I cut that out, I have been noticing some benefits, but that's really the only thing that I've fully cut out other than like processed food. I'm trying to just eat as whole food as I can, kind of meats, fruits, veggies. I have been eating some corn and a little bit of rice here and there. And I have had like beans and I'm trying to eat very mindfully, less and better. As far as my weight is concerned in regards to all these things, I have lost no weight. But you know what? That was never the goal. The goal was to feel better. Do I feel better? I feel better in some ways. I guess I'll explain the ways in which I do feel better and I'll explain the ways in which I don't. Physically, yes, I feel better. Finally, my headaches have stopped. I had probably 3 to 4 weeks of headaches and it was every day, chronic, every single day. I never didn't have a headache. It was either a cluster headache or a regular headache. And I think I finally figured out the culprit. I went on a very, very, very strict elimination diet, like eating only things that I feel like would not flare me up. And then if something would flare me up and I noticed a pain, I wouldn't eat that thing again. And so I've noticed a couple of different things as far as I downloaded this app. So you can input the types of food that you are eating and then how you feel after each food. And it'll tell you if there's any like sort of trends or anything like that. So I feel like after putting in everything on there, I was able to identify some foods that I feel like were causing some problems, but I also, you can put in like medications and how you feel and stuff like that. And I was able to identify that my sumatriptan, which is the medication I take for my cluster headaches, I am almost positive was the thing causing my regular daily headaches. Sumatriptan can cause rebound headaches, and I have been taking this medication for 12 years, and I don't know that I've ever noticed any rebound headaches before, but as of now, it's like the one thing that I stopped doing completely. I switched to a different triptan called rizatriptan, which doesn't work as well, but we'll get there. And my daily like chronic migraines and headaches stopped. So that's really good. I also noticed after I was eating eggs that I wouldn't feel very well or I would have a headache. And so I have taken a week off of eating eggs, which sucks because I have 17 chickens. So, and also wheat. So those are 3 things I've completely cut out: eggs, wheat, any gluten, anything like that, and then sumatriptan. And I haven't had a regular headache in over a week. I also went and got a massage because I could just tell that I was so insanely tense. Like I'm talking crazy tense. And I got a deep tissue massage with like arnica oil, and holy shit, the difference that I felt in my body after that was like actually next level crazy. I also did a half hour of red light therapy. So I laid in like a red light infrared pod for a half an hour. And after that, physically, I really did feel a lot better. I feel like that massage made a huge difference in my pain level, especially the tension that I was feeling, my neck really badly clenching my jaw. So I scheduled another massage from 2 weeks from that one. So like in like a week and a half, I'm gonna go get another massage. So I'm not 100% sure if the eggs and wheat thing is real or not or what, but I haven't had a headache since cutting it out. So I'm just gonna keep cutting it out. I don't feel like deprived or anything. I feel totally fine. So yeah, it seems like switching to the rizatriptan helped, although I will say rizatriptan doesn't work as good to get rid of my cluster headaches. It just is what it is. It's just the cards I'm dealt right now. So I tried getting in with a neurologist and they won't be able to see me till July. I met with a new neurologist. I talked to you guys about her a while ago, and I didn't want to like say this online, but she's a good neurologist. Look, she's a really good neurologist, but she she did something on our phone call. Like we did my whole appointment on telehealth, and she did something on the call that I thought was really weird. And that's kind of why I don't want to go back with her, because it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like we were having a conversation, and we were in the middle of talking about like very serious things like neurology and my head and potential diagnosis and all that kind of things. And then she was like, I'm sorry, I have to stop you there. Is that a cat in the background? And I was like, yes, that's my cat Mimi. And she was like, okay, can you remove Mimi, please? And I was like, okay. So I like moved her. And she was like, is there any potential opportunity that Mimi will jump back up in the screen? Because I have a severe phobia of cats. And if she jumps back up, I'm going to have to end our call. And I was like, oh God, no. Okay. I'm so sorry. Let me move Mimi away. And I removed her from her sleeping spot, and I pushed the camera up. So I was like, you're not gonna be able to see me for the rest of the call because I don't want you to end the call. So I like just moved the camera up. We ended the call. She had some ideas. She was a little Dr. House-ish for me. Like she kind of gave House vibes. Like, I will find out what's wrong with you by any means necessary, which is really, it's good. But the whole Mimi thing really kind of threw me off, because it like for the whole rest of the call, I was like, you can't even look at a cat? Like, it's not, no judgment. I'm not trying to judge you, but like, we're on Zoom. Like that cat can't hurt you. Like she's sleeping in the background of our call. And like, this is a professional appointment. Like this is how you see your patients, and you can't even see a cat. I'm not trying to be a dick right now. Like I get everyone has their phobias or whatever, but that one to me felt like maybe have me sign a waiver before the call, especially since you know it's Zoom and I'm gonna be in my home. I don't know, that felt really weird to me, and it really just threw me off, and I had a really hard time ever wanting to go back to that neurologist, and she's the only one that's available, basically. My neurologist that I've had for 12 years, he's not practicing anymore. He got his own illness, and so he had to stop practicing. So I don't have a neurologist right now that I really trust going to. And again, it's no judgment to her. I don't want to be like a dick and be like, get over your fear of cats. Like, I don't want to be like that. Coming from a cat lady, it is a little weird for me, because like I would think that is something I need to address immediately. Because if I can't even see a cat over Zoom, this can't be part of my life. Like if I have something we've got to get through this. We got to do some exposure therapy. We got to do some kind of therapy. So that really just threw me off. And I know that might sound like a dick thing to say, but it's made me not want to go back to that neurologist, because I was like, dude, that was so, we were like in the middle of a serious conversation about this debilitating condition that I'm experiencing, and then she's like making me move my fluffy black cat. There couldn't be a less scary cat. I'm gonna show you Mimi so you guys can see what scared this woman and had made her like have to get off the phone call with me. Here she is, the most beautiful Mimi. She's really scary. She's the best cat in the world. Literally so sweet, so lovey. Beautiful Mimi. Oh. We don't tell Mimi to go away. We can't. She looks like Toothless, doesn't she? From How to Train Your Dragon. She's the best girl in the world. She snows than us, and she was just taking a nap. She has the cutest profile too. Mimi has the most like, I don't know if you can even see it because she's so dark, but she has the cutest profile. This is the one. This is a troublemaker. Anyway, I don't mean to be a dick or anything, but I feel like I am one, because I feel like that's not very kind of me to be like to have that be the thing that makes me go like, what? I don't know. Think like it was any other kind of appointment, like, or not even an appointment, but like if we were just friends and we were on FaceTime and she was like, oh, I'm super scared of cats, I'd be like, oh, valid. Let me turn this off. But like, I'm paying you hundreds of dollars out of pocket for this appointment right now, and you're gonna make me move my beloved Mimi to another look. That's her sleeping spot. She sleeps behind my chair. Anyway, sorry. So that threw me off, and that's like the only neurologist that's available. The only one. Everybody else is, I can't see him till July. I might have to schedule back in with her, but I'm like, don't want to. But I will say I did find something that was really helpful and natural. So if you are somebody that deals with like chronic daily headaches, or, I mean, obviously you need to go see a doctor to figure out why, but if it's something that like there is no why and you take ibuprofen and it helps, or Excedrin and it helps. I heard this on TikTok and I was like really skeptical, but it totally worked. So I saw that this lady was like, I get migraines and I take sumatriptan, and I heard that ginger can help. And so she took 2 capsules of ginger. You could buy it like off of Amazon or whatever. And it was 1,200 milligrams of ginger. And she's like, it got rid of my migraine. So I tried it one morning that I woke up with a really bad headache. Completely gone from ginger capsules. So it can't hurt to try. And if it doesn't work, then take your other medication, you know what I mean? But it could help. And it's like a natural option. So, hey, it worked for me multiple times, because in that week I was like, I cannot take any more ibuprofen, because I've gotten a peptic ulcer in the past from taking too much ibuprofen. And this is like a natural remedy for that. So it was really, really great. Challenge wise, health wise, feeling better in the regard of my head. Yes, I am feeling better in that way, which is great. That was really the main key here, the main reason that I wanted to do this. Interrupting today's video really quickly to talk to you guys about today's sponsor, which is literally so perfect, which is Audible. If you guys saw in a recent update video of mine on this wellness journey that I am doing, I actually was downloading the audiobook Atomic Habits, and I was listening to it, and I like played a little section of it for you guys in that video while I was cleaning my room. Literally such a perfect fit for me during this, trying to stay off my phone. So it's been great for me to have on in the background to keep me from scrolling social media. I think I'm 30 chapters in right now, and I just love it so much. It's called I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and it is heartbreaking and crushing. I'm getting to the part now where she's starting to work on iCarly. If you don't know Audible, I mean, I'm sure most of you do, but they're an audio entertainment platform. So you can listen right from your phone. You can listen while you're doing anything. So if you're like doing yard work or taking a shower, I usually do it during those times. As an Audible member, you can choose one title per month to keep from the entire catalog. That includes latest bestsellers and new releases. They have audiobooks from literally every genre. Like I said, I was listening to celebrity memoir, but then they have, you know, self-help. They have, I mean, they're literally everything. When you're an Audible member, you get access to audiobooks, Audible originals, podcasts, and you can download included titles all you want. I love it when a sponsorship is so authentic. They reached out to me after I posted that video too, which is so cool because I already use the service. I use it like every month. I constantly am listening to Audible. So if you guys are interested in checking out Audible, I'm gonna have the link down in the description below. Like I said, new members get a free trial. Head to audible.com/rawbeauty, or you can text rawbeauty to 500-500 for a free trial. And I thank you so much again to Audible for sponsoring the beginning portion of today's video and for helping me to curb my constant scrolling addiction on social media, because it's been the most helpful part. As far as feeling better mentally, I'm actually in like a really rough spot right now, and it's just like I'm having such a hard time. So I never had this experience prior to having my son. I experienced it postpartum for the first time, and it was absolutely frightening, and it's called derealization. If you've ever heard of it before, it feels like, the only way I can explain it is like, it feels like you're not you, like you're not living your life. You can talk, I can have this conversation right now. I'm derealizing right now as I'm talking. I'm just dissociating. They're all similar, like DPDR is what it's called, derealization, depersonalization, dissociation. They all kind of like Venn diagram each other as similar, but they are different. So I started derealizing after my son was born because I had severe postpartum anxiety. That whatever happened, drop in my hormones, the lack of sleep, it was really, really, really bad. I felt like I was living in a dream. It feels like you're in a dreamlike state. It's more of like a nightmare. It feels like, you know, when you're daydreaming and your eyes aren't able, you're not focused on anything. Your eyes are just kind of like softly gazing and you can see everything, but you're not focusing on anything. It's like that, but you're trying to focus on things, but you can't. And you are aware that you're talking, you're able to form sentences, but it doesn't feel like you're saying them. It does. I'm aware that I'm talking right now. I'm aware that I'm forming sentences right now. I'm aware of all of the reality behind what's happening, but it doesn't feel real. It feels like I'm in a dream, or like I'm daydreaming, or like I'm coming up on drugs. It's a very, very unnerving feeling. You can't focus on anything. Lights look brighter. you can't, like I feel, I even scheduled an eye exam for next week because I'm like certain that my eyesight is going out because it's so bothersome. I've experienced derealization, like I said before, but I experience it now quite often as a response to, like my therapists both call it a trauma response. Now I don't feel traumatized. They have literally tried to, both of them are like, oh no, you've experienced childhood trauma. Like your mom dying when you're 16, that's considered childhood trauma. The family tragedy that we had with my sister this last year when she lost her baby, that was trauma. Sexual abuse when I was younger, trauma. I don't think of those things as trauma because when my mind thinks of trauma, I think of war or like seeing somebody be shot or something. Like I have this very skewed version of what trauma looks like in a human body, or even admitting that I can have that. Even she calls, like, my birth was traumatic because, like, if you ever watch my birth story, 41 hours of labor, 7 hours unmedicated on Pitocin, felt like I was being sawn in half by a chainsaw, finally had my baby, and he didn't breathe for like 3 minutes after being born. We thought that he was not alive. And then I had a really rough postpartum, which even if it doesn't seem traumatizing, it did traumatize me. Like I had to do a lot of EMDR therapy. This shit's so annoying, trust me. Like I hear myself, it's like, oh my God, you're so traumatized. But I have this thing that's like, unless you're living in like a war zone, you can't be traumatized, and that's just not true. Our bodies look at it completely differently. Like, it doesn't work like that. But the reason I'm saying that is anytime I experience what my body considers as like a trauma response, it fucking derealizes, and I start going into this derealization, dissociation, where I feel like I'm not real. And it's the most unnerving experience. And I, of course, talking to my therapist, talking to everybody, it's so fucking annoying. Like, excuse my language, but it's so annoying because it is the most unnerving feeling. And I am aware that I'm missing out on real life. You can't be present. Like, you're physically there, but you're not mentally there. And so I'm like on week 2 of derealizing, maybe even more, maybe it's a couple months. I literally live in a state of like either dissociating or like what is normal. And normal for me is even still not great. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. But the more you focus on it, the worse it becomes because it is a mental condition. It's like the more you research how to get rid of it, the worse it becomes. You can't try to get rid of it. You can't try to get rid of mental illness. It makes it worse. If you try to get rid of anxiety, your anxiety ramps up. If you try to, because you're focusing too heavily on it. So it's like the same thing with derealizing or dissociation or whatever. The more I try to get rid of it, the more I push away from it, the more intense it becomes. And so as much as I want it to go away, I'm having to like accept it, sit in it, be kind to it. And it's like almost impossible, you guys. I don't know how to get out of it, but from everything that I've read, both my therapists that I've talked to, I'm doing EMDR around it, which does help, but it just takes forever. From all the things I've read, it's like the way you get rid of it is by living your life and stop focusing on it. You have to live normal. You have to be normal. You have to stop reading about how to get rid of it. You have to stop trying to get rid of it. It's like, oh my, it's nearly impossible. It's like when you feel bad, you just want to do anything to feel good. And it's so hard not to want to Google. So I have definitely had the big time urge to Google. I have Googled a few times. And the reason that my therapist says that this is happening to me is because my fucking head, it flared me up into a trauma response. It's my health anxiety flare. I'm in it really bad right now because of those thunderclap headaches that I started having and having to go get that brain scan and everything. All of that just sent me back into derealizing all day long. And it's so annoying. It's like the most annoying isn't even the word. It's debilitating because my son will be doing something and I can laugh and I can think something's cute and it's funny, but it's almost like I'm watching somebody else laugh, or I'm experiencing the laughter through a glass screen, or there's no way to describe it unless you've lived in it, but it's quite literally the only way I can describe what it feels like is that I'm daydreaming. I'm not awake. I'm half awake, and it is the most unnerving feeling. I hate it so much. And I'm in this state so often that I'm like, is this my fucking new reality? Because it is brutal, dude, to see your child growing up and to be there physically for them, but it makes your memory horrendous. Like when you're derealizing, like I can't remember anything. My memory, I'm normally the person that can recall anything. Like if you were like, hey, we watched that movie 10 years ago, what's that actor's name? I'll be like I could just pull it up. Now, I don't even know what you're talking. I don't even remember watching that movie. It's like, really annoying too, because I had never experienced this until I was a mom. And it's like, before, had I experienced this, as uncomfortable as it is, it like doesn't matter as much. Not that it doesn't matter, but like, I don't want to miss out on my son's life. And like, I am here physically, but I am not there. If you are a frequent viewer here, if you don't understand, if you don't have mental illness, it's really annoying. Like, I'm aware of how I sound. I'm aware of how this all comes across. I'm aware that I sound nuts. And the thing is that I feel nuts because this has all happened since becoming a mom. So I've seen my functional medicine doctor again. She thinks I have chronic Lyme disease. She's sending me in for testing. Actually, I think I'll go get the test done today because I got a Western blot test for Lyme disease, and 2 of the AGGs, whatever those are, came back present. And you have, in order to have Lyme disease, 5 have to be present, but she said that they get false negatives all the freaking time. So she's sending me in for a Lyme disease PCR test. And so I'm gonna go get that done today. And then, yeah, so you're just turning over stones and trying to figure out, okay, that one's negative, now we're moving on to this. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. But I sometimes wonder, like, is there, like, am I, and sometimes I wonder, like, is my antidepressant making it worse? Like, is it causing more derealization? I'm on Lexapro, you know, so I'm trying to wean off of that. Maybe I need to try a different medication. Maybe it's like, this is what health concerns make you do, is they make you're just searching and searching and searching and searching all the time to find out why I feel this way is making the feeling this way worse. So, and I'm aware of how I sound. Like, I know that it comes off like I am, like, I mean, I know I am health anxiety. I do have health anxiety. That's what my therapist keeps pointing out to me. She's like, you do have health anxiety, but you also have bad health. So it's not like you're just looking for no reason. Like, you're looking because you feel like shit and you know something's wrong. And like, I just cannot even begin to tell you that, like, when your child is growing up right before your eyes and you are like not there, you're not there mentally, you're not present. And I can remember what it felt like to be present. I can remember that I once was. That makes it literally debilitating because you're like, how do I get back to that? And sometimes I think I can't, and I am doomed to live the rest of my life like this. Like, remember, my husband sent it to me, like, Post Malone smoked weed like 5 years ago and he's been derealizing ever since. And like, I remember watching a video about Dodie, you know, the singer, and she lives with derealization. And she just lives like this. And I'm thinking, like, is that just me? But then I think, like I can live, but I'm not living. I can exist. I can be a good mother. I can be a good wife. I can have fun, but it's not me. It's like I'm watching it through a lens, or like I'm dreaming it. It feels like I'm just dreaming it. So I am experiencing it, sure, but I'm not experiencing it. I'm doing it, but I'm not in it. And it's really impossible to explain unless you've experienced it. And if you have, God, it's the worst. So if any of you have ever gotten better from derealization or dissociation, depersonalization, like I said, they all kind of coexist within each other. They are different. By the way, I'm not just making these up. Like, I make sure to ask my therapist, like, I want their opinions on this before I'm just like talking about it, and they all agree that is what I am experiencing. Because sometimes I'm like, am I going nuts? They're like, you're not going nuts. This is what it's like. And I'm like, this is the fucking worst. It's literally the worst. So yeah, I did 2 full weeks without social media, and then I just slowly started using a little bit more each day. I would say I'm like probably using like an hour to 2 hours a day of social media right now, including posting and things like that. So it's not terrible. Before it was like 8 hours a day, I feel like. So it's definitely much better, but I'm not like fully abstaining from it at all anymore. I am using it sometimes, like I've gotten on TikTok a few times, but I am like regulating my usage. I'm not just sitting on it for hours and hours a day anymore. Just like when I go to the bathroom or watch TikToks if people send them to me. But Instagram is my vice, I would say. It's the one that I kind of could sit there and scroll forever because I like knowing what my friends are up to. As far as water, I am definitely drinking more water. I am drinking a lot more water, actually. Yeah, like I said, as far as weight is concerned, I haven't lost any, not a pound, not an ounce. Okay, we need to talk about exercise. Have I done it one time? No. I have not done 1 second of actual designated exercise. I have done work outside. I have like scooped sand into the chicken pen. I have worked in the garden. I have done things like that. Like we were learning line dancing, and we've had dance parties every day, but real dedicated exercise like on my Peloton, I have not done it once, and it's the 29th. Yeah, it's the 29th. So that's crazy making. I need to get my shit together and I need to go exercise. So I feel like that probably could help with the derealization, dissociation. Maybe you guys could let me know, but it certainly couldn't hurt. Exercise is always a good thing. There's my 30-something minute long update on how things have been going. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if I have ADHD or something. And if like I took ADHD pill, if it would help me. The thing that I get nervous about with that is that ADHD medication is like methylphenidate or Adderall or something. They're stimulants, and I have such bad anxiety that if it doesn't help, it could make me so anxious. So that makes me worried. Maybe I could try like a non-stimulant version of something, but sometimes I wonder if that's what my brain is like, because it's constant, like it never stops. And so I wonder sometimes if that would help me. I'm gonna keep going on this. This is a challenge I'm gonna keep going with. This isn't something like that I'm just gonna stop month one. I wanna keep going. I wanna kind of level up each time so that I can like, you know, add in one extra thing. I need to care a little bit, not care, but I need to prioritize exercise in that day. I'm an exhausted person, but I know that exhaustion is because I don't exercise. So if I start adding in exercise, as exhausted as I am, it will give me energy. And that it's like so counterintuitive. You think that exercise doesn't give you energy, but it does. That's how it works. So if I add that in, I bet I would only see positive results from that. So, all right, well, there's the update. I hope that this was in any way interesting to you guys. Let me know if you have any suggestions or helpful tips down below to any of the things that I talked about today, how to stay off of social media, any books that you guys recommend that I listen to. I'll see you next week for another update. And I'll do a weigh-in. I guess I could do like a 1-month weigh-in and see if there's any difference at all. Probably not, but I did also take my measurements this week and I logged them into my phone, or last week. I logged them in my phone. So everybody says weight is not the way, take measurements. So we'll see. I just did that. All right, well, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you at my next video. Bye.